we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. If we could do a roll call, please.
Yeah. Jeff Huff,
Here.
Craig Connell,
Here.
John DeGrand,
Here.
Terry Atwell, and Donna Getzman are absent. Bob Paulson
Here.
and Roger Spears.
Here.
Thank you. We do have a quorum.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Could you give us the statement for the hybrid?
Yes. This meeting is now being recorded in the board hearing room with zoning board members attending in person. There's also an option for virtual attendance on Zoom webinar. For Zoom participants wishing to speak, please use the raise hand function in the Zoom app at the start of the agenda item on which you desire to comment. Comments will be received from in-person attendees first, followed by Zoom participants. When it is your turn to speak, the moderator will recognize you by the name or number used to join the Zoom webinar. Please state your name and the city and state where you reside for the record, followed by your comments. All public speakers will be limited to 3 minutes unless the chair designates a different time period. If you have trouble with Zoom, please call 913-715-9666. Board members, staff, and presenters, please state your name every time you begin talking, and please speak into the microphone so your comments can be transcribed for the record. This is a public meeting. We are presenting live and recording the meeting. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're going to go through the agenda items here. Is there anything that we need to add, delete, revise, or approve on the agenda?
Nope.
Does not look like it. Disclosure of any conflicts of interest? Looks like we're good there. And disclosure of external contacts or discussions? Think we're good. All right. If I could get a motion for the approval of the minutes for April 16th.
Craig Connell, I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes.
John DeGrand, I'll second.
All right. All of those in favor of the approval of the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So it looks like we're good on that. Okay, very good. So we're going to go to the board reports. Looks like we have a new person. No, just a second. If you could, Jay, if you could share with us, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Jay Leipzig, Planning Department. Yes, filling in for Sean Penley this evening. It's probably a little rusty at doing this. But just a quick overview of the Board of County Commissioners' actions. Dream Air, the New Century final plat, final development plan was approved by the Board of County Commissioners on May 15th. That was before this body last month. And that is the only item that we have for the Board of County Commissioners action. Do you want me to go ahead and with the Planning Commission updates?
Okay.
On that, the Planning Commission did not meet in April, but they do have a meeting scheduled on May 27th, so next week. And as you know, we're working with Clarion and Associates to develop our zoning and subdivision regulations. They are putting the finishing touches on draft 1, or the draft for module 1 of that document. So we're going to have a high-level overview of that document at the Planning Commission meeting next week. The other item I wanted to mention to you is you may be aware when we did our land use update last year, working with Public Works, was involved in doing some updated traffic modeling and for studies for in the western area of the county for their transportation connection plan. We have those preliminary estimates and recommendations, and those are going to be presented before the Planning Commission at their June 24th meeting. So next month, we're sending out a formal notice to you on that meeting if you'd like to attend to hear those recommendations, because I'm sure many of you may be interested in that in the future. So look for additional updates on that as well. And that's all I have, sir.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so we're just going to get right into the business before the board. We have application number W25-474-CUP-LE, conditional use permit 11300 South Waverly. If we could hear from staff, we'd appreciate it.
Good evening, Zoe Brown, Planning. This application is for a CUP renewal for outdoor storage of trucks and equipment with a contractor's business. The original CUP was approved in 2000 and renewed in 2006 and 2012, and staff is recommending approval of the CUP with a 10-year term. The subject property is located at 11300 Waverly Road on 10 acres. The subject property and surrounding properties are zoned rural. There's currently a house and 3,300 square foot accessory building on the property. Here's an aerial view of the site. The house and the accessory building are located on the north end of the property. The applicant is operating a concrete and snow removal business. Operations occur from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. all year round, with the warm weather season being the busy period. Equipment is stored on the property but taken to job sites each day, so employees are not coming and going throughout the day to the site. There are no changes to the operations from the previous CUP renewal. Here's a site plan showing the buildings, landscaping, and fence, which is outlined in red, and that encloses the outdoor storage area. Here's a view of the property from Waverly Road, and from the street, the property is heavily screened with landscaping. Here are a few photos of the outdoor storage on the site. Various materials and equipment are stored on the property, and the property is well kept and contained in that fenced-in area. The CUP renewal meets the minimum infrastructure requirements, and Public Works stated no concerns. In staff's opinion, the application meets the golden criteria. For criteria number 1, the surrounding area is zoned rural and made up of large lots ranging from approximately 10 to 30 acres. Many of the surrounding properties also have large accessory structures. For criteria number 2, the surrounding uses are agricultural and residential, and the closest neighboring home is over 500 feet away from the contractor shop. And because the site is heavily screened from the road and the north property lines by trees and a 6-foot-tall privacy fence, the use is compatible with the character of the neighborhood. For number 3, the property continues to be suitable for the use. A contractor yard and outdoor storage is allowed in the RUR district with a CUP. For number 4, the detrimental effects are visual, but the landscaping and fencing adequately mitigate these impacts. For number 6, there does not appear to be any gain to the public interest if the request is denied. The hardship imposed on the owner in the event of a denial would be the time and cost of relocating the business, as well as the material and equipment to another site. For number 7, the use is in keeping with the comprehensive plan with the recommended stipulations. Staff received 3 public comments related to this application. 2 neighbors expressed concerns about the requested 20-year term length. They have concerns about the visual impact of the business, noise, property values, and traffic on Waverly Road, which is a gravel road. Staff also received a letter of support from the property owners across the street, stating that they had not been negatively impacted by the business and had no issues during the time that they've lived in their home. So all that being said, staff recommends approval of the CUP for a 10-year term, subject to the stipulations in the report. And I can answer any questions you have, and the applicant representative is here as well.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have any questions of the staff from the zoning board?
Yeah, Greg Connell, I have one. How far to the north of the fence and tree line is the closest home?
That one's about 500 feet.
That was 500 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Jeff Huff. Is that one of the people that you heard from in your written?
I'm not sure. They did wish to remain anonymous.
Okay.
2 of them did.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much. That's the applicant presentation, please. If you could just introduce yourself.
Yes,
And
sounds good. So I'm Jacob Turner. I'm an attorney for the towners, and the towners appear in person here, and they are happy to answer any questions you might have. I'm going to keep this really short. I've had a great time working with the towners, got to know them. They're wonderful people. Business is run by, it's a father and the son, and son is right here too, if you have any questions of that. I appreciate the work of the staff. Zoe and the other staff members have been exceptional to work with through this process. We take no exception to the report. We originally asked for a 20-year time period, just because, quite frankly, they're a father and son business, and going through this process is a very expensive process for them. And so it takes away from their profits and livelihoods, and so that's why we thought a 20-year would be appropriate. We recognize that the neighbors have concerns, and I've talked to them, and they want to be good neighbors, and they want to make sure that the neighbors are comfortable. So if 10 years is what's deemed best, then we don't have an issue with that. So thank you for your time. And again, either of us are available to answer any questions that you may have.
All right. Any questions of the board? To that?
Yeah, Greg Connell, I have one question, I guess, and related to the negative comments from the neighbors. Is it mostly about property values, or is it about dust on the gravel road from the trucks, or what's the primary, or do you know what the primary objections are?
Yeah, so some of the concerns was dust from trucks coming in and out. There were a few about just the visual impact, seeing it from the property, but it is fenced in and pretty well contained. Yeah, there was some comments about property values, and trying to think if there's anything else.
This is Jeff. If I do see like wear and tear on the roads, and as far as resurfacing or things that have been done up to this point, would that be a public works type of
Yeah.
question, or do you have any update on how recently or when is the next?
I don't know in terms
Okay.
of road updates, but Public Works did review it and they didn't have any concerns with the traffic it's generated, and they didn't seem to think that the road wasn't able to handle the traffic that it is accumulating.
Okay, perfect.
And if I may also, it's not like trucks are coming in and out of this business all day. Essentially what happens is it's a storage area for the trucks. In the morning, the trucks leave, and in the evening, the trucks come back. It's pretty similar. That's kind of the extent, my understanding.
Perfect. Any other questions from the board? No?
Thank you all
Okay,
very much.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much. All right, we'll move into the public comments. If anybody does have a comment they'd like to make, we try to keep it at 3 minutes or less. I'm very gracious. I do want to hear you. That's the reason we're here, to be able to hear your voices. So if you do have something that you would like to make known, you can come up here, your name and address, and appreciate you being here.
Thank you. My name is Joan Radakovich. I live in 11420 Waverly Road, Olathe, Kansas. So I butt up against the Towners to the south. And in looking at what you guys had just talked about, concerns, they go right by my house in the morning, they go right by my house in the evening, and they drive slow. That is different than what the vast majority of other people go down that road. Zippity split. I ride my horse along that road, and I have no problems when I know they're coming in or out in the evening or the morning. Other vehicles, I do get a little worried about, but never the Towners. They're going extremely slow. They're very cognizant of the time they go in and out. I'm never inconvenienced by noise. I can never see any of their stuff because of the privacy fence, so I have no concerns with property value.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate the comments. Anybody else? Okay. Same thing, name, address, and look forward to hearing your comments.
Hi, I'm Sharon Brashears. I live at 31100 West 111th. I'm at the corner of Waverly and 110th, I guess is what college is now. My concern was when they said concrete, I was like, they're going to put a concrete factory there? Because I thought we were zoned like rural and all that fun stuff. So that was my concern. So the concrete does not come to their business. They take it and disperse it someplace else?
And you can ask, so once we're done with
That's
the
a
public
question. I
comments,
didn't
then
understand. I
we'll
know
have
snow
them.
removal, about that, but the concrete removal, is that where you go and take and do whatever it is with the concrete, but it's at the job site, so you don't bring any of that stuff home with you? Okay. The other concern is, there are a lot of people who walk that road and ride their bikes up that road. And I'm afraid to even go to my mailbox now because they go so fast through there. I didn't know, at County Works, I know they do what they're supposed to do, but we have dust, we have we have heavy-duty dump trucks that go by. There may be 15 or 20 of them some days. So that was a concern that I had, and as well as the dust and the danger for just walking to the mailbox. I have to be like one of the little kids, stop and look every way and then listen and then go out my driveway. So that may not be your concern, but that's my concern. And I didn't realize, like I said, I thought the concrete company, I was like, that was something new that I hadn't heard about or anything. But I've known the towners quite a long time. So I know they've tried to do everything they can to accommodate all the neighbors and stuff. So I do appreciate that. But the dust and the traffic is what my concern is.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anybody else that would like to make a comment? Yes, sir.
You'll have a little patience. Patience with me. I'll try to get through this. I guess my big question is the dust situation is not caused by the towners. The dust is caused from all of the big trucks going down Waverly to 99th Street and those developments down there. The dust that they make wouldn't cover anything. But I go out in this time of year when when the roads are dusty. The cars are covered with dust where you have to use a windshield wiper. It's not them. They're the best neighbors you could ever ask for. They take care of their neighbors. They take care of the snow in the wintertime when the county can't get to us. You don't ask for any better than they are. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anybody else have anything? Okay, thank you.
My name is John Tan, and Debbie and I live at 13155 West 111th Street. So the back of our property is probably 1,000 feet away from the Towner's property. We don't have any traffic coming down 111th Street, and we don't have any noise coming from their property to our property. They are great neighbors, as you guys have been told. They look out for us around the neighborhood, and we are very appreciative of them being there.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Appreciate you sharing. All right. Any other public comments? All right. Very good. Are there any questions from the board to staff, the applicants, or the public? No, it does not look like it. So at this point, we will close the public comments, and we'll go to if there's any discussion that we would like to have among the board members. We can do that at this time. Is there anything that anybody would like to bring up in closing?
The only thing I see that there's a question of to me is the length of term. I mean, the applicant originally requested 20, staff recommended 10. What do y'all think about that?
Greg Connell, I'm comfortable with 10.
How about Roger? How about the online guys? I'm comfortable either way myself.
Okay. Anybody on that's joining us online, do you have an opinion on the 10-year term or the 20-year term?
Roger, I don't think your microphone is working.
It shows
go.
that it is.
Now we can hear you.
Okay. I initially was a little bit concerned with the 10-year term, considering that area is kind of changing. It's evolving with more smaller developments. But listening to the public comment and considering everything that's been presented, I don't have any concern at all with the 10 years.
Okay. Good. Roger, just asking, so the staff has recommended 10. If we decided we wanted to go beyond that, would you be okay with that? Or do you think keeping it at 10 based off of the growth out there and the things that could be changing, after 10, that could look a lot different out there. So I just want to make sure, to be fair, if your neighbors are happy and everybody seems to be on board with this, I think that's a fair discussion to have is, do we go over the 10, over the recommendation? I'm assuming that we could make that adjustment if we wanted to. So, anybody? I mean, I kind of see where you're leaning, but
Mr. Chair, I'll jump back in. This is Roger Spears. I think 20, I listened to the comment from the attorney very carefully that they initially asked for 20 due to the expense of this process and just the hassle of going through a renewal of a conditional use permit. But they've said they're okay with 10. I think given the potential changes and increased development along that road, Waverly Road is distinctly different from about 115th Street, 111th Street to the north up to 99th, wherever it terminates there. It's partially chip sealed, then goes to gravel. It jigs and jags a little bit. So, large equipment going down that truck, and I sympathize with them for dump trucks going to development work. But I would think that 10 is probably a happy medium. I think that's kind of the standard of planning. And I really don't see a need to go to 20 at this time.
okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I want to be, a business owner and help run another business, but, I think that based off of what that looks like, I think 10 is a fair concession on both sides. Do you agree? Okay. All right. Any other comments or discussion that we need to have? Okay. I would like a motion on the recommendation that we've been given.
It's Greg Connell. I recommend that we approve the conditional use permit for outdoor storage of trucks and equipment in conjunction with the construction contractor business, subject to the stipulations in the staff report for 11300 South Waverly.
John DeGrand, I'll second.
All right, we can take a vote.
Jeff Huff,
Aye.
Craig Connell,
Aye.
John DeGrand,
Aye.
Bob Paulson,
Aye.
and Roger Spears.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, very good. The county commissioners meeting date and location, please.
This application will go to the Board of County Commissioners on June 26th in this room at 111 South Cherry Street in Olathe.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, is there any other business that we need to bring before the board? Does not look like it. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
John DeGrand, I move to adjourn.
Greg Connell, second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned.